about it, Ryan? Is that the Indian?
I don't think so, sir. He don't look like how I remember him.
Well, that don't sound like you, Ryan. Not remembering what the man looked like. You claim almost wiped out your whole patrol. He's the man you're looking for, Captain.
You're the Indian known as Buffalo Lance?
You haven't got a chance, Buffalo. You better give up.
I'm placing you under military arrest for murder. Good afternoon. I'm Captain Stone, Commandant at Fort Order.
I'm Capt Monroe. These are my brothers and sisters. What are you doing with Jim?
Your friend Jim is a fugitive, Mr. Monroe. He's wanted by the United States Army for murder. Now, I see you're aware of the circumstances.
You mean about Jim having to kill an Army corporal? Well, he told me he had to do it to save a whole patrol.
Well, that'll be something for a court-martial board to decide.
Well, what about the others? The others in that patrol, didn't they tell you what really happened?
Several of these troopers were on that patrol, and they did tell what happened. How they saw your friend Jim shoot the corporal in charge. Sergeant Ryan here was no more than a few feet away when it happened. He's already testified about the argument between the Army scout and Corporal Blackner. How he saw them fight and the Indian kill the corporal.
Well, Captain, wait a minute. You've got to listen.
That'll be enough about the Indian, Mr. Monroe. You have your own problems. Since you were aware that this man was a fugitive from the Army, you could be considered an accomplice.
Fox. No trouble for family.
Captain, did I say a word?
Mr. Monroe, this is Fox Bonner. He's our civilian scout for this expedition. What is it, Bonner?
About the young fellow here. Now, you couldn't rightly expect a man to take an Indian 70 miles across the mountains, even if he wanted to. I don't claim to be no authority on Army justice, but I'd say he had a mighty good claim to innocence.
You've got a point. All right, Monroe, we'll forget this incident, insomuch as you're concerned. Now, if you have no objections, we'll bivouac nearby and continue our march in the morning.
Captain, that's not the point. Jim is a good man. He'd never murder anybody.
I told you, Monroe, that's up to a court-martial board to decide. My orders read that if I find this man, to bring him back to trial.
I don't understand. Why would an Army patrol go to all this trouble and come so far just for one man?
Well, finding this Indian you call Jim and bring him in is sort of a side issue, you might say. Our real mission was to chase a group of important Cheyennes. However, up to now, things haven't worked out quite the way we planned. Now, there was a fight, and we lost some men, so we came up here where we could get some rest and regroup our forces.
What I want to know is how Captain Stone knew that Jim would be up here.
Well, I'm afraid that's on my account. You see, him and me date back as friends for a mighty long time.
You're his friend? And you do this to him?
When a man takes money from the Army, there's a loyalty that goes along with it. And there ain't nobody more sadder than I am about it, boy.
You surprised me. I thought you'd put up a fight.
Yeah, we took him a lot easier than I thought we would. In his spot, I think I'd have spilled a little blood. You see, Injun, I was on that patrol when you killed Corporal Blackner. So were some of the other men in this outfit. We all know what's waiting for you once we get you back to the fort. Now, look, you pay attention when I speak, Injun. Now, then. If it hadn't have been for Sergeant Ryan over there, once you killed Blackner, we'd all been dead. That's the difference between a man who's got iron down his back and one whose spine's made of jelly. What happened made Ryan a hero. And you're gonna be a dead Injun.
Good. Did you not hear the captain? The trial will be held when we get back to the fort. They'll leave the prisoner alone.
Spread that gloom all over your face.
Yeah, I was just feeling sorry for you. Must hurt a little.
A man puts a noose around the neck of a good friend.
Oh, it hurts. But I did what I had to do. What about you, Ryan? What made you so scared to identify the Indian?
Cap, there's only one thing I can do. I've got to go to the fort with them and testify for him. I'll tell them all the good things he's done, everything I know about him. I'll testify for Jim.
Whatever you decide. It's up to you.
Dad, it means leaving you here alone with the little ones.
Isn't that little enough that we can do for Jim?
I'll tell the captain that I'm going with them.
Absolutely not, Mr. Monroe. This is a military patrol on an official and possibly dangerous assignment. Have you thought of the chances of not getting to Fort Auger or not getting back? What about the responsibilities to your family?
It's my responsibility, Captain, not yours.
Let me tell you something, Monroe. There are bands of renegade Indians running all over this country between here and Fort Auger. But most especially, there's that bunch of Cheyenne we met up with before we got here.
We admire your spirit, son. Like the captain says, it's going to be a mighty risky trip.
I don't care. I'm going to the fort and I'm going to testify for Jim.
Oh, Captain, if I could make a suggestion, maybe we could get around the book. Since we sent Dan Dupre back with that dispatch to Fetterman, I'm short-handed. I could use an assistant scout.
This boy up against the Cheyenne? You're slipping, Barnard.
I think you could help.
Absolutely not.
Have you seen the twins?
No, I haven't.
Their horses are over there, Jim. Run, get one. Why is he going right into him? It's like he don't want to escape. No! Stop! Don't hit him! Don't hurt Jim!
Truth! It's the truth!
All right, what's going on here?
Those kids got that engine loose.
Tie him up again. Mr. Monroe, I suggest you discipline your brothers. Tell them that interfering with the Army in the performance of its duty is a very serious offense.
You bet I will. Capt, take him back to the cabin.
But Clay, Jim could have got away on a horse, but he'd run right into these men.
What?
And I heard him say something to the sergeant there about telling the truth.
Just what I've been doing. Ever since that engine killed Corporal Blackner. Telling the truth.
All right, all you men, back to your posts.
Are you just gonna leave it at that?
I told you, Monroe, the court-martial will be at the fort. Monroe. It could be that I've been wrong about you. From what I just saw, you handle yourself pretty well. Maybe we can use you. From now on, you'll be Mr. Bonner's new assistant. We mount up at dawn. There'll be no waiting. Is that understood?
Yes, sir.
Getting light. Remember how it used to be? I'm talking about back in Fairfield. I wasn't much bigger than Amy.
Remember what, Cat?
How before Mom and Pa get up, you and me'd sneak outside and see the first red-breasted robin.
I remember.
We'd sit out there by the fence till the sun came up over the hill on the far side of the house. I can still smell the wood burning from the fire pot starting the stove. Then biscuits and ham.
I miss it too, Cat.
I sometimes wonder why Mom and Pa want to leave a place like that. Looking back, it seemed like a good life to me.
It was a good life. We're gonna build us a better life out here. And somehow we're gonna make that include Jim.
All right, Sergeant, move him out.
Forward, ho!
Right back.
We can follow Bear Creek here, all the way to the fort, Captain.
Nice to have you with us, laddie. Sorry about last night. You find all kinds in the army.
Jim, last night you could have escaped, but you didn't. You ran to Ryan, you told him to tell the truth. What did you mean?
Please. This first.
Look.
Yeah, it's nothing much. Maybe an elk cap down, something like that.
Well, Jim's acting like he sent us something.
Better ride out and take a look then.
Mind if I come?
Good job now, boy. Now, stay away. The scout I sent back to Fort Fetterman. Let them know that we had spotted the Cheyenne war chief and his escort.
I've never seen anything like that before.
It's because you never run into an important Cheyenne war party before, boy. They don't play games. Whatever they intend to do, they plan on seeing it done. Well, there's nothing we can do here. Move out and find the captain. This is something he's got to see.
Staked out with strips of rawhide. He did not die with comfort.
One thing's sure. That Cheyenne war chief and his escort are still around here. Our fight with them didn't make them turn back.
Aye. They're out there. I can feel it, like putting your hand on a hot stove. Some 15 or more of them and only 9 of us. And no help coming since our message near got back to Fort Fetterman.
What do you think, Fox?
I can't tell from this. I got to go look.
This didn't happen too long ago. They must have tortured them for a week.
What do we do now, Captain?
Our orders were to contact and apprehend that Cheyenne war chief. We were unsuccessful the first time. We won't be this time. Mr. Bonner, move out and see what you can find.
Right. Came this way, all right. No offense, son, but this is where I wish we had good old Buffalo Jim along. You can all but tell how long ago they passed and what they were wearing.
If you think so much of Jim, why did you point him out to the captain?
It was a duty, son. There were only 2 of us that could have done it, Ryan and me, and for some reason, Ryan wouldn't tell.
What do you mean?
I can't put my finger on it exactly. But there we were, and Ryan just plain wouldn't point out Jim. As if he didn't want the Army to take him prisoner.
But it was Ryan who testified against Jim.
Well, that's a fact. That's why it's so peculiar. Well, water's over the bridge now. Gotta find us some Cheyenne. Now we're getting close. I'll leave the horses here. Boy, if we run into trouble, you get out of here fast. Tell them where they are. Get help. Understand? They'll play it awful mean, son.
See that one with the buffalo hat?
He's the great war chief. We can't let him get to those tribes up north. He speaks for too many Indian nations.
What's he doing with those arrows?
Well, they're sacred, powerful medicine. That's what they're doing now. China. It's supposed to assure victory. Without them, the Cheyennes are not likely to fight.
Cheyenne were there?
About 15. Fox says they're protecting a war chief named Buffalo Hat.
Move out.
He'll kill him for sure. And I cannot see any way to release him. He'll not endure much longer.
Fox need help. Cut loose. Knife him.
We're gonna have to chance it. We'll spread out and attack. We're lucky we can get to Fox before they kill him.
That won't be necessary, Captain.
What do you mean?
Jim will get Fox.
Jim? The Indian, he's gone.
I cut him loose.
You what?
Fox is his friend. Jim will get him.
He'd better, Mr. Monroe, or you're in serious trouble. Perhaps you are already. The rest of you, leave your horses and follow me. Ryan, Gardner, take 2 men. Get between them and their horses. We'll hit them from both sides.
Does that look like a man who would kill an army corporal without good cause?
There are things more immediate than discussing your friend's character, Mr. Monroe.
Out of nick of time.
Forget it, Reddy. All right. This old bull may be getting a bit long in the ears, but they ain't got his horns yet. Captain!
Are you scared?
Captain? On what, Ryan? Our horses are back in the ravine. Any casualties in your group?
No, sir.
You all right, Duncan?
Aye, sir. Barmaid in Glasgow hit me harder than this.
I'd have had a war club in my skull if it hadn't been for the engine. Ever since you killed Corporal Blackner, I've had a big hate going for you. Now I figure I owe you something.
You'd make a good soldier, Mr. Monroe. I figure we owe you both something.
You can pay us off right now, Captain. Let Jim go. You can say he was missing in action.
But he isn't. Maybe that's too bad.
He had the chance, but he didn't.
Captain, he saved my life.
And mine.
He's also wanted by the Army for murder. You know my orders.
Pardon, Captain. But if I could have a moment?
What is it, Fox?
Oh, it's just that I'm sort of puzzled. You weren't always a book soldier.
Oh?
Yeah, word gets around amongst us scouts. I'd known some were with you in other commands, and they said that you were a wild one. Anything to get the job done. Or for your men.
A wild one. And where did it get me? Nothing but trouble. I'll be a captain for the next 20 years.
Well, it's the fight any officer has who comes up through the ranks. Who ain't a West Pointer.
And a Johnny Reb to boot. I wouldn't be an officer at all if it hadn't been for General Carlisle.
Yeah, I know. And you haven't had a promotion since he died. Now they sent you to the hole. Fort Auger, one of the worst little posts in all of the Western Division. Now you've given up. Turned into a book soldier. It's not like you, Captain. Do you really think you'll earn your promotion?
That's none of your business, Fox. Yours is the latest of Fort Auger. Now tend to it.
Stone, my outriders spotted your patrol. A message arrived at Fort Fetterman several days ago. Seems that you were way off schedule in your chase for the Cheyenne. I presume that your patrol had been destroyed. I was just bringing over your replacement.
Well, I'm flattered, Colonel. 5 officers to take over the responsibilities of 1 captain.
I was referring to Captain Chamberlain. These other 4 officers are members of General Layton's review board. They're inspecting the forts in this area, Captain.
I see. Not very much protection for such an important entourage.
As you're well aware, Captain, there's been much hostile activity in this area. These were all the men that I could spare. And now back to your mission, Captain. What happened?
We made contact with the Cheyenne. Sustained light casualties.
And then?
We regrouped up in the Teton country, and we continued our pursuit and made contact again.
And what about Chief Buffalo Hat?
He's dead, sir.
And the medicine arrows?
One of the braves that got away took them with him.
Then you only accomplished half your mission, Captain.
Perhaps a little more than half, Colonel.
Well, Captain, it would seem you did accomplish somewhat more than I expected. Bring that man forward. Why is it some of them never learn? The Army feeds them, houses them, pays them, and trusts them. And they end up murdering one of our own men, thinking that nothing will be done about it. What were your intentions, Captain?
To take him back to the fort for court-martial as I was ordered, sir.
The fort is still a day's ride away. The court-martial shall be held here.
Will a day's ride make that much difference? Back at the fort, there are facilities for the prisoner and the proper elements to...
Have we not the proper elements here, Captain? The 5 officers for the board, the witnesses we call anyway, and the prisoner at hand.
Is that an order, Colonel?
It's a request, Captain. The court-martial shall be held tomorrow morning. In the past, you've been known to ignore many requests of your superiors. And that's why you're in command of that fort called the Hole. My point is, I would consider my request quite seriously, Captain. And get your men cleaned up. They're a disgrace to the Army. Well, soldier? I see you're going soft on Indians, Stone. You realize if we don't give that prisoner harsh treatment, it'll be an open invitation to every Indian scout in the Army to bolt whenever he feels like it?
That Indian colonel saved the lives of 2 of my best men. He fought with us and well against the Cheyenne. He had a chance to escape, and he didn't take it.
He murdered a man in cold blood. A soldier. A non-commissioned officer. And then he lied about him. I am going to see justice done for that.
Since we're taking off wraps, Colonel, let's take them all the way off. Why don't you face up to the truth? I've known you since the day I came into this man's army. There's no man you could become so fond of, not without selfish motives.
What are you getting at, Stone?
I'm getting at Corporal Blackner. The dead Corporal Blackner who married your daughter against your wishes. Corporal Blackner you were trying to push to get through West Point so he'd be fit to become a part of your family. The same corporal who would have run if he thought his life was in danger. I believe that is the Indian story.
That boy was no coward. And I won't have you or some Indian cutthroat maligning his name. This is very important to me, Captain Stone.
And now you've made it important to me. That's why I'm volunteering my services to the Indian as defense counsel.
When we ran into the Cheyenne ambush, well, Lieutenant Crawford and Sergeant Kester were killed in the first skirmish, and that left Corporal Blackner in command. Well, we were pinned down in this arroyo, you see, and we knew that the next Cheyenne attack would wipe us out. Jim and the 2 corporals, Blackner and Ryan, pulled off to one side a little ways to talk it over. All of a sudden, there was an argument. Jim and Blackner were fighting. Then there was a shot, and Blackner fell.
Did Ryan ever tell you what the argument was about?
No, sir.
All right, what happened then?
Well, then the Cheyenne were coming down from the ridge, and we had to get set. And suddenly Ryan was yelling for us to follow him, and he led us out of the trap.
And you never saw Jim again?
No, sir, not till we captured him.
Would you say Corporal Blackner was a good soldier?
Why, I suppose so, sir.
Was he happy in the Army?
Well, sir, that's the way it is with a trooper. Just ask him how he likes the Army, and it's just his plain bound duty to tell you he don't.
Be more specific, Gardner. I was speaking of Corporal Blackner.
No, sir, I can't rightly say I ever heard him say anything kindly of the Army.
No other questions.
Court will recess 1/2 hour.
No, I'm sorry, Captain. I mean about sitting in as a witness and not being no more help to you than I was. Doggone it, I owe that Injun something. Well, you know, getting to know him the way we did on the trail, it's just hard to believe that he would have killed Corporal Blackner without no reason.
That's all right, Gardner. You did what you had to. You told the truth, like all the men did.
Yes, sir.
Captain? Doesn't look so good, does it, sir?
No, it doesn't, Clayton.
I've learned to know Jim well. He wouldn't have killed that corporal unless he had good cause.
I've come to believe that myself. The proof is the important thing here, and proof seems to be on the side of the prosecution. That's why Colonel Malcolm whispered to Captain Chamberlain. He wanted to hold up the proceedings any further until Sergeant Ryan returns from patrol. The Colonel knows that Ryan's testimony is all he'll need.
Well, that's what doesn't make sense to me. Fox Barnard told me that Ryan wouldn't identify Jim. He seemed to get mad because Barnard had.
What else did Barnard say?
Nothing. Except that he was sure that Ryan recognized Jim. He said that he and Ryan had known Jim for years.
I didn't know that.
Why would Ryan have done that if he'd been telling the truth?
That's just what I'm going to find out. I wouldn't worry, Colonel. Sergeant Ryan ought to be returning from patrol any minute now.
What makes you think I'm interested in Sergeant Ryan?
Now, Colonel, you wouldn't have asked Captain Chamberlain for a recess just to get a breath of fresh air. That court's plumb full of it.
Captain Stone, I'm not going to stand for any more of your impertinence.
Sorry, sir. What I came for was to advise you that I intend to call on Sergeant Ryan as a witness for the defense.
You lost your senses, Stone. Don't you realize that Ryan is the one man that was right beside that Indian when he murdered Corporal Blackner?
I realize Ryan was the only witness when Corporal Blackner was killed. What I want to find out is the truth to what really happened.
You expect this man to change his testimony? To lie for you?
I said I was after the truth, Colonel. I think Ryan's been showing signs of a guilty conscience since we took the Indian into custody. I want to find out if I'm right.
And if you're wrong?
If I'm wrong, Colonel, you'll get your pound of flesh.
You've been known to be wrong a number of times during your Army career, Captain. And this whole mission is no exception. First, you included a greenhorn boy in an Army unit. And you gave a gun to an Army prisoner. And now you're trying to turn this trial into a circus. Should I see fit to take this before a review board, Captain?
Demanding trial without proper defense preparation? Ordering a recess when you're merely a spectator? You take this before a review board, Colonel, and they'll tell you the same as me. It's not a trial. It's a kangaroo court. One moment, Ryan. I'm ordering you to testify on the part of the defense.
Me, sir?
That's right.
Everybody here knows what I have to say.
Just the same, I'm going to ask you to take the stand.
It's not what you said before that we're interested in, Ryan. This time we want you to tell the truth.
What are you getting at?
We'd all like to know why you wouldn't identify Jim. And why you didn't want him taken prisoner.
Now, wait a minute. What you getting so upset for, laddie? All we want you to do is to speak up and tell the truth.
I told the truth.
Well, no. You better give that a lot more thought between now and when you get up there on that witness stand. Because you're going to have to live with us for a while around here. I'll call it my Scottish charm. But all the troopers seem to think of me as their good friend. And if I didn't like somebody, it could go hard with that man. So thinking of you as kindly as I do, Mr. Ryan, I suggest that you tell the truth and nothing but the truth.
Then what were they arguing about, Sergeant, if not surrendering?
I don't know. Must have been something personal.
But you heard the argument.
Some of it.
And you don't know what it was about?
No. I don't know.
Sergeant, if Jim killed Corporal Blackner right in front of you for no good reason, why didn't you interfere? Why didn't you do anything? Why didn't you try to stop him?
Well, the Cheyenne were ready to attack. I don't know.
But you led the patrol out of the trap. How did you know the way?
I just sort of found it.
And Jim didn't direct you. But you didn't try to take Jim back. Bring him back to justice right then.
No. There was a lot to do.
Isn't it true, Sergeant, that you had no idea of bringing Jim back to justice? Especially once you got back and found yourself a hero?
I don't understand, sir.
Don't you, Sergeant? Isn't it true that after you led the patrol out of the trap, you were decorated for heroism? And only a short time later, because of your so-called bravery and good judgment, you were promoted to sergeant?
Captain,
Isn't it true you were and always have been known as a very ambitious man in the United States Army? Ambitious enough to have taken credit for the work other men have done? Back to the death of Corporal Blackner. Isn't it true that you conveniently forgot some of the things you heard in the argument between the defendant and Corporal Blackner? And because of that, a man is going to die? A man you know to be innocent? A real hero? You saw him save Corporal Gardner's life. You know he saved Mr. Bunnard's. But now you're willing to let him die. Do you want to be known for your bravery, Ryan? Do you want to be a hero in your own right? Then look that man right in the eye. And this one time, tell the truth. Tell how if it hadn't been for him, you and all your friends, many of who are in this court right now, would be dead. Now is the time, Sergeant. Now is the time to show how brave you really are.
I didn't really mean any harm to Jim. I mean, it all happened so fast. Corporal Blackner wanted to surrender our whole patrol to the Cheyenne. Jim trying to explain the Cheyenne took no prisoners. Corporal not listening. Turned his gun on Jim. The scuffle. And the shot. Jim is the one who told me how to get the men out of there. You know,
all of a sudden he was gone. I never thought anybody'd ever see him again. So when the whole post began talking about the bravery of Sergeant Ryan, well, it grew that way. Something I couldn't stop. No, you were right, Captain. Something I didn't want to stop.
That's all, gentlemen. I just wanted to say that
I'm afraid you made a real enemy there, sir.
looks that way, Fox. Funny, too. I just wanted to tell him I knew what he was going through. And for that reason, I don't consider this a victory.
Hatred can be a very thick wall, Captain. Often gets in the way of reason. And he won't listen.
No, I guess not.
You're wrong one way. For you, a victory was won today. Oh, I don't mean just by the trial alone, but my guess is that you finally learned that you're not the type of a man to go by the book. Old Buffalo Jim.
Captain, when we first met, I didn't think too much of you. But I've sure changed my mind.
I reckon that works both ways, Clayton.
Thank you, sir, for everything.
Captain, Jim.
I understand you. Goodbye.
He's a free man now, Captain. No more murder charge hanging over his head.